In 1997, after Scream was such a big success, horror was back in the game again, and, well, we eventually got this film right here, which really ended up being a pretty good flick despite it got hated on. And that film was I Know What You Did Last Summer. Now, I have yet to re-review the film, but I will later on down the road along with sequel and review its direct-to-video sequel. But I just finished watching the new version of I Know What You Did Last Summer, which came out this past summer and is now on physical media and streaming on Netflix. But is this new sequel to the classic itself worthy enough to get you hooked on? Or is this one gonna leave you in a complete bloody pool of blood? Find out in this spoiler-free review right now. Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So, greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome again to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. I'm the Big D, and this time around I bring to you a spoiler-free review of the 2025 slasher flick I Know What You Did Last Summer, released by Columbia along with Screen Gems and produced by Original Film. Directed by Jennifer Caitlin Robinson, with screenplay she co-wrote with Sam Lansky and story she co-wrote with Lee McKendrick. This is loosely based on the characters from the actual book by Lois Duncan. It's the fourth overall installment and serves as a sequel to 1998's I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, it completely ignoring the dull, direct-to-video film I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer. The film stars Madelyn Cline, Sui Wonders, Jonah Hauer-King, Tyriq Withers, Sarah Pidgeon, Billy Campbell, Gabbriette, Bechtel, and Austin Nichols, with Freddie Prinze Jr. and Jennifer Love Hewitt, reprising their roles from the first two films. Now, the film takes place 20 years after the Tower Bay murders in the second film, when another hook-wielding killer appears and begins targeting a group of friends 1 year after they covered up a car crash in which they killed someone. This film came out this past July on July 18th after it premiered at the United Theater on Broadway 4 days prior. It eventually was a modest hit despite getting mixed reviews. On July 4th, 2024, Ava Brooks visits her hometown of Southport, North Carolina for her best friend Danica Richards' engagement party. Afterward, Ava's ex Milo Griffin, and Danica's fiance Teddy Spencer drive to see the fireworks, inviting their estranged friend Stevie Ward, who had recently left drug rehab. While parked on a winding cliffside road, Teddy causes a car driven by Sam Cooper to swerve off the cliff. Eva urges them to call the police, but Teddy swears them all to secrecy and involves his politician father Grant to cover up the accident. 1 year later, Eva returns home from Danica's bridal shower, and she also reunites with Milo and Stevie and meets true crime podcaster Tyler Trevino, who is in Southport to research the killing spree conducted by fisherman Ben Willis in 1997. At the party, Danica receives a threatening note reading, "I know what you did last summer." The group suspects Tay is responsible and confronts him, but he denies any involvement. That night, Danica's new fiance Wyatt is hacked to death by a hook-wielding fisherman who resembles the now deceased Ben. Convinced someone knows about the accident and is coming after them, the group decides to learn more about Ben. When Tyler shows Ava the location where Ben murdered sisters Elsa and Helen Shivers in 1997, the fisherman ambushes them and murders Tyler after Ava wounds him and is able to escape. With the entire town wanting to avoid scaring away tourists and knowing that the police will not believe them, they seek help from survivor Julie James, who assumes that the fisherman has a personal connection to Sam. And at a town hall meeting, Julie's ex-husband and Stevie's boss, Ray Bronson, accuses Grant of covering up the 1997 killings to boost the town's appeal. So that's all the story I will give to you. If you want to know the rest of this, how the rest of this film turns out, please check it out. Okay? Please stand by. Now, for what I thought about the new "I Know What You Did Last Summer," I'm gonna say it's not bad. I kind of feel like I like this more than "I Still Know What You Did Last Summer." This comes right on par with the original. But however, unlike that film, it had more bits of bloodiness and what have you in its kills. And I thought that proved to be a good thing. Upon its release, the film got mixed reviews. Rotten Tomatoes has it at an overall total of 36%, saying faithfully harkening back to the original for better or worse. This "I Know What You Did Last Summer" reboot serves up plenty of nostalgia without finding a compelling hook of its own. Metacritic has a score of 42, while Audiences Pub by Cinema Score gave it an average C+. IndieWire gave this a B+ and wrote that it's a lean, mean serial killer flick. Entertainment Weekly gave it a B- and wrote clever moments and a sensational performance from Madelyn Cline keeps the movie mostly alive. Well, that's understandable and what have you. But anyway, I feel like it's just, yeah. Now, in one kind of a mixed or negative response, the Hollywood Reporter noted that while Robinson and Lansky clearly show affection for the franchise, they ultimately failed to inject fresh energy into what remains a creatively exhausted series that perhaps should have stayed buried. However, the outlet praised the return of Hewitt and Prinze Jr., highlighting their strong performances as vital links to the original films and for bringing much needed gravitas to the story. Anyway, the film did decent enough, making an overall total worldwide of 64 million on its $18 million budget. So it did decent enough. The music from Shanda Dancy, I hope I pronounced that right, ended up being pretty good and what have you. Now, I did like some of the songs that was heard in this film. Some of it wasn't too bad. But anyway, I give it the soundtrack a little bit of credit as well. But anyway, some of this kind of surprised me and all sorts of things. For our cast playing Danica, we have Madelyn Cline, who had recently appeared on the Netflix show Outer Banks, as well as Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery, which I'm looking forward to the third film in that franchise coming up later on. She does a pretty good job. Playing Ava is Chase Sui Wonders, who most people would remember the HBO Max series Generation, as well as A24's Bodies. I thought that looked like her, and the Apple TV Plus series The Studio. I think they both were pretty good. Milo's played by Jonah Hauer-King, who recently played Prince Eric in the Little Mermaid remake a couple of years back. And he's more recently been in several other things like Doctor Who or the current series. Not bad. Tyriq Withers plays Teddy, and not bad. He's been in shows like Legacies and The Game. Pretty good. Sarah Pidgeon plays Stevie. Now, she was in the Amazon Prime Video series The Wilds. And she's also been in several other series as well. Well, like she's been on Gotham and several other things. So I'm gonna say she's not too bad. And Billy Campbell plays Grant Spencer, who of course appeared in The Rocketeer as well as the original Dynasty. And he's been in Bram Stoker's Dracula and Enough as well. Now, the cast, it's not too bad, but the big surprise was seeing Freddie Prinze Jr. back after all these years as Ray. I was really surprised to see him back. Boy, yeah. And Jennifer Love Hewitt's back as Julie James. I appreciated having her back as well. Gabbriette Bechtel played Tyler Trevino. She wasn't too bad. We do have two stars from the first two films. One, well, of them is a character who died, and one is a character from I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. But I'm not telling you who those are if you have not seen that movie yet. See for yourself, okay? Because I don't want to get into details on that. Because then it'll be ruined. But however, the character from I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, who I will not say who it is, can be seen in a mid-credit sequence. So stay put through the movie because there's a mid-credit sequence in the end. But anyway, yeah. So overall, I think I Know What You Did Last Summer, 2025. I feel like it's right on par with the original, but however, I feel like it's got a little more of a bloody feel to it and what have you, unlike what we had from the first film, from that film. But it was great to have Freddie Prinze Jr. and Jennifer Love Hewitt back with us, and that's what counts. I think the kills weren't too bad, and I thought the story was completely fair and decent and what have you. So overall, I Know What You Did Last Summer 2025. It was not bad that I had anticipated. I think you'll like it if you give it a shot. It just came to physical media earlier this month, and the film's now available to stream on Netflix. So check it out. If you are a die-hard fanatic of I Know What You Did Last Summer, or maybe I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, then I'd say check it out. For my score, I'm going to give I Know What You Did Last Summer 2025 4 stars. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm giving it an 8. What did you think of the new I Know What You Did Last Summer? Let me know in the comments section below. If you like this video, click the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Continue to help support my channel, and you know the rest. Another thing I will point out, it's pretty good, and the film's pretty good in ways, but not as great. I kind of actually consider this a legacy sequel in ways, but not as great as a legacy sequel like Scream 2022 was. No, but anyway, yeah, give I Know What You Did Last Summer 2025 a watch. So if you like this, check out my reviews for some of these films. Check out my reviews for these two films. Check out my review of the film I was just now talking about, Scream 2022, aka Scream 5. In the upper left-hand corner. The upper right-hand corner is the sequel to that, Scream 6 from 2023. I hope for the best. Scream 7 turned out to be a good one. Well, I hope. Or if you would like maybe another horror reboot, check out my re-review of Halloween 2018 in the bottom left-hand corner. And the bottom right-hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying see ya, and we'll have another video come up soon. It's probably going to be my review of Good Fortune when I go see it, and expecting out the reaction for it, okay? Okay, I'm really going to go this time. See you again.